like to first of all welcome you again to the first annual Social Workers Symposium. We're overwhelmed to have you here. I'd like to establish protocol by formally welcoming the Honorable Minister of Public Health, Social Development and Labor, Minister Brook. In addition, I would like to welcome the Honorable Commissioner of Social Development, Ms. Lorraine Gums. Where is she? Yes, she arrived with her delegation all the way from Anguilla, and all the persons that you see in the beautiful blue shirt are our Anguilla colleagues, and we welcome you warmly. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Minister Gums, as well, for coming. Commissioner Gums, she's like, not Minister, Commissioner. You're commissioners, thank you. Before I introduce Minister Brook, I'd like to say, this is Remembering the Why. Very important theme, and you'll notice the importance of it when our keynote speaker addresses you later during the symposium. But I wanted to let you know something very simple. You don't look like what you've been through. That's very important. You don't look like what you've been through. I refer to the book of Daniel. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego went through the fire for principle. For principle, they went through the fire. And they went through that fire and they came out, did not smell like smoke, and their clothes were not burned. You do not look like what you've been through. And the place of your punishment and torment will be the place of your purpose. I want for you to remember that as we go through this symposium. Without further ado, because this ain't church, without further ado, I'd like to welcome Honorable Minister Brook to give the address.
First and foremost, I would like to congratulate all social workers around the world, and in particular those in St. Martin, for their continuous contribution to the building of this nation. The role that you play is a very important role. It's a role that is often overlooked and goes sometimes unappreciated. Sometimes people see it, we talk to social workers, psychologists, as a taboo, something you don't want to do. But in reality, your role is so important. People don't really realize or understand that you actually save lives. You actually save lives. You're just as important as the police, the ambulance department. And, coincidentally, this week we're celebrating COVID. We're not celebrating COVID, but we are remembering what we went through with COVID. And prior to being a minister, prior to being a member of parliament as well, I was an inspectorate at the education. And then, even then, in our educational system, we saw the need for your service. We saw the need for your service. And even then, there was always a waiting line, a waiting list there. Today, I can say that waiting list has grown. It means that your work, your responsibility, has also gotten more. Unfortunately, when I speak to some of you in the room that I know, all of you don't have the tools you need in order to address the issues of this country. When I became Minister of VSI, I made it public that one of my priorities was to improve the health care of this country. Not only the physical aspect, but the mental aspect. It is one of the reasons that when I came into office, I started to push a lot about mental health. I started to do as much that I can do within the period of time and with the funds that I have to ensure that mental health, the addressing of mental health, gets the necessary attention. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme of today is remembering why. Why? How much of you remember why you decided to become social worker, psychologist? How much of you remember that? Raise your hands. It's not even half. So it means that we have chosen a great team today, because with the presenters, they're going to help you remember why. They are going to help you remember why. And when you leave today, I am sure that you will be better than how you came in. The weight that you carry, each and every one of you, is to take on the burden of this community. My question to you, when you yourself feel overwhelmed, who do you turn to? Do you have someone to turn to? Raise your hand if you do. Good. I turn to the man upstairs most of the time. All the time I turn to him, but also with those individuals in the room, some of you I also turn to you. I come from a code. I live by a code. Coming from a VKS background as well. I am my brothers and sisters keeper. I want you to look to the left. Everybody, look to your left. Look to your right. Look behind you. Look in front of you. And I want you to repeat, I am my brothers and sisters keeper.
I am my brothers and sisters keeper.
Again?
I am my brothers and sisters keeper.
So if you ever feel overwhelmed because you're dealing with the issues of others, I want you to turn to each other and just look at each other. Remember that you are each other's brothers and sisters. So I know that we will form a bond today. And I'm so glad that Will is here, because it means we've gone international. That we form a bond today, that we know that when we feel overwhelmed, we can count on each other in this room as well, in addition to whatever support you might or may not have had before today. I'm not going to take up too much of the time. I'm going to say good luck to the speakers, and I'm going to congratulate Miss Peggy Dross. I always put a van in front of it, but Miss Peggy Dross, and also her team for organizing this symposium. And I am proud of it. And of course, this is only one of many to come, where the Ministry of VSI will be addressing and assisting your need and the community when it comes to public health care. Thank you. Thank you.
How many of you have heard about it? How many have read a little bit about it in the newspapers or social media? Too little. That's very good to know. We're going to change that in the coming months. Mental health. The project, to take you back a little bit, it's a co-creating project. So it's basically everybody's important for the project. The Ministry of VSI is taking the lead, and the NRPP is the implementing agency. So they're supporting and facilitating the Ministry of VSI to achieve its goals. Why do we need a project for mental health? I think I don't need to explain that to this group. Mental health has been underserved, and a little bit about the history. After Hurricane Irma, it became apparent we need attention for mental health. Not only that, but we also do need a new facility. The current facility of the Mental Health Foundation cannot withstand a hurricane category 3 or more, and then there's nothing. So we are in dire need for some improvements. And we need improvements throughout the entire sector. We did 2 studies. I don't know if you're familiar with the situational analysis. Maybe some of you have been interviewed, or the capacity needs assessment, but we did 2 studies to see where are we right now, where do we need to be. And basically they both were very much in sync. We're not serving the people of St. Martin when it comes to mental health. It's scattered, the sector is not collaborative, the community is not involved, there's a hidden need, there's big groups that are underserved, because mental health is not only about patients in the Mental Health Foundation, but it's also about parents with Alzheimer's, or it's about the diabetes patient that has to lose its legs. It's about an adolescent struggling in puberty or at school, or is struggling with bullying at school. It's about a single mom struggling to get sufficient income to provide for her kids and feeling low. But it's also about women in menopause. So mental health is very broad. And as you know, a lot of influences your mental health. So we like to talk about mental well-being instead of mental health. It's about your holistic well-being as a human from top to toe, from heart, from inside to out. So mental health is broad, and we need to improve. That's basically the outcome of the two studies. So the project objective, it sounds very formal, but we want to increase the capacity of mental health service delivery on St. Martin. What does that mean in normal language? More people need better help. That's the objective. We need to serve more people, and we have to do it better. So the long-term focus of mental health is split in 4 main goals. We want to focus on the governmental side, so governance, meaning legislation. It means also measuring effects. It means measuring money. It means establishing formalized collaboration, how to collaborate, not ad hoc, but formalize it, make it structural, give people the tools to actually provide services better. That's the governmental side. We want to focus on a community-based approach. The community needs to be involved. Mental health is from everybody. Everybody has also experience with mental well-being. Everybody has a story. We need to get the community involved. And we have to also passionately destigmatize. Also, I don't need to explain to this group, it's normal to talk about who you are, what you're struggling with. It should be normal, and it should not have the stigma, oh, you're crazy. If you go to see a social worker, if you go to seek help from a coach or a psychologist, you're not crazy, you're human. So we need to destigmatize. We want to do systemic care improvements, the collaboration. How are we collaborating in the care chain? So what is the referral system? Do we screen? Do we have a screening system? What are we doing about the waiting lists? So systemic improvements in the care sector. And we want to include the social domain, and that's where you come in. A lot of mental well-being happens at the workplace, in schools, in families. It doesn't happen in the waiting room from a doctor, per se. So we need to involve specialists, social workers in the field to also become part of the whole care chain. And that's now not, we can optimize collaboration and we can optimize how we work. So formally the project activities, just a short summary. We're going to look at the system, so we're also going to look at legislation, for example, but also affordability, who's going to pay for what. And we're going to look at the quality of care. So basically, it's both system and care. That's what we're going to focus on. The new facility for the Mental Health Foundation, maybe you've heard about it, but the new facility will be in St. John's. So it will be very close to the White and Yellow Cross. And it will also be very close to UGMA, which is very nice. So we have them sort of like a care center going on in St. John's. We're going to build a building that is multifunctional. We're going to build a small building, lean and mean, because we want to de-institutionalize and we want to provide care in the community. But we also want to make it multifunctional, so open to the public. So it needs to be a safe space. It needs to be a friendly space. It needs to be a place that's welcoming and that people will want to go to. That's the objective. Mental health in the news. Besides the project, there's a lot of initiatives going on. And yeah, that's great. And we want to be in contact with all the initiatives. and from different angles. So there's trainings for the police, for example. There's now a federation for mental health institutes in the Dutch Caribbean to strengthen collaboration. There's Are You Okay? I think in March we're going to do the walk again. There's Suicide Prevention Month, there's Suicide Prevention Day. So there's lots of great initiatives going on. So keep an eye out, and if you're interested, go participate, go support, because it's important. Maybe you've seen this in the news. Minister Brugge welcomed the Trimbos Institute, because we can't do it alone. We have a high ambition if we want to systemically improve the care quality and improve collaboration and building a new facility. It's a big ambition, and we have only until summer 2027 to get it done. So we needed help, and we partnered with Trimbos Institute. And why Trimbos Institute? Trimbos Institute is an independent scientific institute and is non-for-profit. So they're going to help us with the expertise and the expert knowledge that we need to improve on St. Martin. And of course, they're going to make it for St. Martin. And what will they do? They will look at all the aspects. So they will look at the governance system. They will review the policies that are in place and improve it. They will look at the money side. How can we make it affordable? What service level do we need? And what does it mean in terms of budget? What do we want to keep, or what do we want to not keep? And how will that work out in the future? They're gonna work on promotion and prevention. A very big aim is that we are more proactive. So basically, before situations escalate, already know about them and help people. So that we prevent that people have to go to the institution or have to go on medication or are able to cope. So we want to stabilize and also be proactive and be preventative. Preventative care is very important, and that's where also promotion and prevention programs come in. So they're going to also focus on that. And they're going to look at the care quality. So screening, how do we screen? I already mentioned it. Care protocols, referral protocols. What happens if you go to your general house practitioner, your general practitioner? Who can they refer to? How about the waiting list? But what happens if you then have had the treatment? What happens with follow-up? All those aspects. Governance is important. So how are we managing the project? There's an implementation committee under guidance of VSA, and the NRPB is the secretariat. So we support VSA. VSA is the chair. And then we have two sounding board groups. And the sounding boards is basically you, me, everybody that has an interest in care or has an interest in mental well-being, social work at a general level. So we have, because a lot of people are actually involved, we have two, one for the professionals and one for faith-based organizations and NGOs. And we also included people with lived experience. And that's where you come in. Why do we need you? I don't think I have to show you this, this picture, but living and working conditions affect basically everything, right? It affects your physical well-being, your physical health, also your mental well-being. You have stressors, you have de-stressors, and that's where professional help comes in at all levels. So it's not only about specialistic care, actually it's about zero-level care, and that's where you come in. It's about the schools, it's about the workplace, it's about the whole range. And everybody plays a role, everybody can have a positive influence on taking care of people, actually. So we want you to be ambassadors. We want you to be active. We want to listen to your voice, listen to your opinions, hear your feedback, and we also would like to share information with you. So we are asking you to share information also with colleagues that could not have been here. Talk about it, talk about the project, ask questions, come forward, participate, that's what we want. We also want to have you collaborating with Trimbos. Without the proper information and without your expert involvement, they cannot help us develop and improve the sector, right? So we want to also every once in a while reach out to you with a questionnaire or maybe with deep dive sessions and interviews, focus groups. But also we want to invite you for the sounding boards. Every quarter, the sounding boards meet and we discuss mental well-being project, I want to say. And also why it's so needed is because a project has an ending, a beginning and an ending. That's the definition of a project. But of course, this change and this big change doesn't have an ending. We need to keep going. And only people can carry it forward. And that's basically you. So we want you to register. There's a QR code. I also printed the QR codes and they're going to distribute it on your table, or it's already on your table, I see. The last question is how you want to be involved. If you only want to be passively involved, that's also an option. So please register also for statistical purposes so we know what types of people are out there in the social domain. So you can choose. You can choose how you want to be involved. That's the last question. So don't be hesitant about registering. It's a great help if you do. And I don't know if it's working on the screen, but you can register. Tell your colleagues also if they have questions. You can reach us. You can reach me on the following email: f.school, how you want to pronounce it, at nrpbsxm.org, or you can reach us by mentalhealth@nrpbsxm.org. And then I want to close off with a big thank you, but also I was sitting at the table, and I think it's the most beautiful thing and coincidence that I've read today. As we work to create light for others, we naturally light our own way. That's what the project's for. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Enduring, meaning continuous. Not just once a year, or once every 2 years, or once whenever we can think of it, but enduring, continuous. Right? So, let me introduce myself. I like to introduce myself because I prefer that than someone else introducing me. I keep very down to earth, and I'd like to invite each of you to do that as well. Show up as your authentic self. All of you have skills, all of you have knowledge, all of you have a breadth of information within your own respective field. Feel free to show up as yourself. I don't have everything all figured out, but what I do present to you today, I strongly believe in, I am passionate about. It is an honor to be in front of you. This truly excites me, and I am just grateful for this moment. So I thought it important to put that out. Shamila Delaney Weeks. I'm a mother, wife, auntie, counselor, entrepreneur, doctor, lawyer, Indian chief on the job because you're expected to do everything under the sun when it comes to your students. They think your mother, the grandmother, they think you are every role in their life. I'm sure you can relate. I have a bachelor's in international communication management and a master's in adult learning and global change. I did various certifications in life coach, well-being, laughter therapy, art therapy. You can read the rest. Created my own, I find my hair looking a little scanty. So I created my own rosemary hair oil, which basically promotes the growth and strengthening of hair. Thank you so much. This young man, give him a round of applause. He's everything, and I realize he don't like attention, but nonetheless, he does. So give him that attention. I appreciate you. Thank you. And I'm currently busy with a PhD in sociology. So I only present this to let you know a little bit about the person standing before you today. So I know a little bit, I did a little research, so you can know what is that about. I want us to make a few agreements. This is a judgment-free space. I would appreciate it if you put your phones on vibrate, not silent, because I say I have children in the streets, so if somebody's trying to reach me, I need to be accessible when it comes to my kids. Be respectful in both your verbal and non-verbal communication. Sometimes our face speaks. We don't need our words to do all the words, our face says it all, right? When beliefs, therefore be respectful. It's okay to have different beliefs, different views, right? And when opinions differ, again, agree to disagree. Can we agree to that? Wonderful. So, the goal is basically to help you all reconnect with your purpose and be inspired and develop a plan for sustainable self-care. Very straightforward, right? Basically, the breakdown of the days, you're going to get some professional reflective activities. We're going to touch on the difficulty of practicing self-care, why it's important, the types that are out there. You're going to do a self-care assessment, so you're going to actually see how full is your cup in this very moment. Yes. And we're going to touch on the various aspects of practicing self-care. So do a few activities and just bring the point home. We're going to network, as you all already started to do. I don't know if you all took a moment to really absorb the energy in the room, but y'all just happy to be outside. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that energy continues and is sustainable. Yes? Yes. Wonderful. We're going to touch a little bit on reigniting the spark and sustainable self-care. All right? Anybody familiar with this lovely man standing in front of us? I know Evie. Mr. Ford, very good. You gotta get the A on the exam. Mr. Ford struggled financially growing up. He lost his mother at 13. He didn't want to work on a farm anymore. He dropped out of school at 16, high school dropout. Yeah. He became an apprenticeship. He became an apprentice, so he did a little internship to get some knowledge. And eventually, he do, experience made him a respected engineer, and he did what he was doing. At only 32, Henry, founded Ford, the motor company. 122 years later, people still driving around in Ford vehicles. What was Henry's why? Simple. He just wanted to lighten the work of the people who were hauling these groceries from these vegetables from the farm to the market. Simple, simple, simple. What is your why? Why do you do what you do? When you know your why, you will know your way. All right? You need to identify your why. Why you doing it? It doesn't have to be nothing profound. It doesn't have to be something. You just need to know why you're doing it. When it comes to your why, once you know your why, you can't look towards people to direct you to where to go with your why. Reason being, we are not all given the same vision. My vision is not the same as your vision. Had Henry asked people what they really wanted, he would have to figure out how to manifest faster horses. And I don't know, maybe in this day and age it could be possible, but I don't think back then it was a possibility. All right? So have your why and trust your vision as to the way it is you need to go. So, when I was a little girl, I was a little Shamina up here, in St. Maya kindergarten. I know if, you know, somebody should have some of these pictures. All right? I was bullied. Yeah. I felt like I wasn't heard. Sometimes, you know, somebody else says something and it's like, but they're being heard, and you know, you kind of get a shut up Shamina, you know? And this little small one, she used to go around and just bite your sandwich. What are you doing? Bullying. That experience, however, made me develop a thought that, hey, everybody deserves to be happy. Everybody deserves to feel good, no matter who they are, no matter what they are, to show up as their authentic self. Every one of us deserves to take up space. And that assisted also with the logo, the happy me, happy you, happy us. All right, so from a little tender age, I already had this happy me in my head. It didn't just come to me.